Everyone, you're welcome back to Yhinksweet Ladies Place once again. My name is Yinka. In today's tutorial, we are going to be talking about full circle flare and an half circle flare. Last week, we've talked about double circle flare. So today's project will be incorporated into a skirt. It's a 3-step flare skirt. So the first 2 layers of this skirt, as you can see, will be cut as a full circle flare, while the 3rd layer will be cut as an half circle flare. So the main objective of this teaching today is to show us how to cut a full circle flare and also an half circle flare. And we are going to be making it into a skirt. So as you can see, this skirt is divided into 3 layers. The total length I use for this skirt is 24. Since it's divided into 3 layers, the length is going to be divided by 3. So 4 divided by 3 gives me 8. So the length will be 8 inches longer than each other. So the first is 8, the second is 16, while the third will be 24. So let's get started. We are going to be starting with the 3rd layer. The 3rd layer is an half circle flare. So the formula for an half circle flare is circumference plus allowance divided by 3.14. So for example, the waist circumference is 32 plus 1 zip allowance gives me 33. 33 divided by 3.14 gives me 10.5. Then from this 10.5, I'm going to minus 0.5 for my allowance, which will now give me 10. So my radius is going to be 10. And note, you're not going to be adding any seam allowance to the skirt length. The skirt length is 24 and it's going to remain 24. Because at the end of the day, we are still going to be attaching a waistband of 1.5 inches to the skirt length. So there's no need adding any seam allowance to the length. So let's get started. We are starting with the half circle. So first, I'm going to be folding the fabric into 2. When you are cutting an half circle, you fold your fabric into 2. This part is unfold, while this part is open. That's going to be the center back, while this folded edge is going to be the center front. So the first thing you want to do is to measure your radius. My radius is 10 from the calculation, as you can see. Then from that 10 inches, you are going to measure down the length of your skirt. The length is 24, so I'm going to measure 24. So the next thing you want to do is to go back to the tip and you measure down the length you have now. So the total I have now is 34. So what I'm going to be doing is to measure that 34 at this folded edge as well. Then after that, I'm going to be rotating this 34 all around like so. So you continue to rotate the 34. What we are rotating here is the radius plus length, which is 34. The radius is 10 and the length is 24. 24 plus 10, that is 34. So you rotate the 34 all around. So when that is done, the next thing is to connect these points together. Just like I'm showing you. You can cut this on the floor. It's easier on the floor than on the table. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to rotate my radius. My radius is 10, like I said. I'm going to continue to rotate the 10 as well. And when that is done, you're going to connect the points together as well. So the next thing now is to cut it out. Then you're going to cut on the radius too. So you're going to be notching the center front, like so. So by the time you open it up, it's going to look like this. This is the third layer of our skirt, like I said, and it's cut as an half circle. So if you measure the waist area now, you will have exactly 33. If you do your calculations right, everything will be perfect. There will be no excess and there will be no shortage. As you can see, we have exactly 33. So moving on now, we are going to be cutting the second layer. The second layer is cut as a full circle flare. And the formula for a full circle flare is your circumference plus your allowance. Then your answer will be divided by 6.28. Waist circumference plus zip allowance divided by 6.28. So, for example, here the waist circumference is 32. 32 plus 1 zip allowance give me 33. 33 divided by 6.28 give me 5.2. And I'm going to be removing 0.5 from this 5.2. This 0.5 is allowance. So, 5.2 minus 0.5 give me 4.7. So, my radius is 4.7. So the first thing you want to do is to fold your fabric into two. So you fold it downward like this into two. As you can see, the fabric is folded into two. Then after that, you're going to fold it downward like this into four. When you're making a full circle flare, you need to fold your fabric into four, just like I'm showing you now. This part here is folded and here also is unfold. You can see it's unfold. So the first thing you're going to be doing is to measure your radius. My radius is 4.7 according to the calculation. So after that, you're going to measure the length. The length of this second layer is 16 inches. So from the tip again, you measure whatever you have now, and then you're going to continue to rotate the answer. Here I have 20.7. So I'm going to continue to rotate the 20.7 all around. And when that is done, you're going to connect the points together. Then the next thing is to rotate your radius as well. The radius is 4.7. So I'm going to continue to rotate the 4.7. Then you connect the points together as well. So the next thing is to cut it out. First you cut on the length, then after that you cut on the radius. So if you open this up now, you will have a full circle. You have a full circle. Can you see? It's a full circle. So the next thing is to slit one side. So just put your scissors in between and then you cut it open. This part that you cut open now will be your back. So if you measure it again, you will have exactly your waist circumference, which is 33 in this case. The waist is 32, then 1 inch is zip allowance. So everything here is 33 inches. Please try and do your calculations right. It's easy. So you place it back on fold again, then you notch the center. So we're done with this second layer. So we are going to be moving on to the first layer now. For the first layer, you are going to be folding the fabric into 4, just like you did for the second layer. But then, you know, this is a very short one, so you need to measure it first before you cut it out so that you don't waste your fabric. My radius is 4.7. I'll make a point. Then I'm going to measure the length. The length of this first layer is 8. So this measurement is more than that now, so I'm going to reduce it. So I'm going to measure again. The radius is 4.7. I'll make a point. And the first layer's length is 8. And then I'll make another point. Then I'll measure. So I have the exact thing that I want now. So I'm going to cut this so that I'll be able to fold this fabric into 4. I don't want to waste the fabric. So that's why I didn't just fold it. So I'm going to fold it now into 4. So this fabric is into 4 folds now. So you measure the same radius with length at this other side and you cut it out as well so that you can have equal sides. So I've cut out the required fabric. So the first thing is to mark out your radius. The radius is 4.7. You make a point. And the length of the first layer is 8 inches. So I'll make a point at 8 inches like so. So you go back to the tip and you continue to rotate your answer. Here now I have 12.7. So I'll rotate to 12.7. Then after that, I'll connect it together. So the next thing now is to rotate the radius as well. The radius is 4.7. I'll rotate the 4.7 too. When that is done, you connect it together as well. Then after that, you're going to be cutting it out. First, you cut on the length. Then after that, you cut on the radius. If you open it completely, it's going to be a full circle. So the next thing you want to do is just to put your scissors in between like this, and then you slit one part open. The slitted part is going to be your center back. Then you notch the center front like so. That's the center front. So moving on now, we are going to be cutting our waistband. So for the waistband, I folded my fabric diagonally, just the way it's folded here. The fabric is folded diagonally like a triangle. I like cutting my waistband on bias cut. I like cutting my waistband on bias cut. It makes it relax very well. So fold it like so. So after that, just make a point so that you can have a starting point for your measurements. So from this point now, I'm going to measure my waist circumference measurements. My waist is 32, then plus 1 inch zip allowance will give me 33. So I'm going to measure 33 inches. Then I'm going to roll it upward. So the next thing is to measure the height of my waistband. I want my waistband to be 1.5 after sewing. So I'm going to add ½ inch allowance to it, which should be 2. So I'm going to measure that 2 inches all around. Then after that, I'll connect it and roll it into a straight line. Then after that, I'm going to cut it out. So the length of this waistband here is 33 and is on fold. On fold, I measure 2 inches. So after that, just fold it just like I've done, and then you notch the center. So if you open it up, it's going to be 4 inches by 33 inches. So in summary, here is our cutout. We have the waistband, then we have the third layer, which is cut as an half circle. And then the right side is facing up now. Then we have the second layer. The right side is also facing up. And you make sure you align the center notch together. And then we have the first layer. And the right side also is facing up. So you make sure you align them together. And then you pin. Make sure the center notch are aligning properly. Then you pin it again. And at the other end as well, make sure it's properly aligned and you also pin. So this is the total cutout. The first, the second, and the third. And then the waistband. So the next step is to fuse your waistband with your fusible interfacing. So you open it up. On the wrong side of the fabric, you place your stay. Just place your stay on top of the waistband and then you iron it down. So the next thing is to fold one part upward, fold ½ inch upward like this on one side, and then you are going to iron it down. Then after that, you fold it over, like I'm showing you, leaving ½ inch again, and then you iron it again. Then after that, you put them on top of each other like I'm showing you like this. Then you notch the midway like this. So this is our waistband. You can see the notching there. So I'm going to be showing us how to couple our skirts together now. So the first step is to join the waist together so that the 3 pieces will be into one piece. So when that is done, the next thing you want to do now is to hem the lower part of your skirt. You know it's 3 steps. You are going to hem the lower part of the 3 layers. First, I'm starting with the third layer, then the second layer, then the first layer. Okay, I'm done hemming the lower part of my skirt. So the next thing is to join it together at the center back as well. Join the 3 layers together at the center back. so that they can be one piece at this edge as well. So just put them on top of each other like so, and then you join it so that everything can be in place. When you're done with one side, you do the second side. So when that is done, the next thing you want to do now is to attach your waistband. So you're going to be placing the right side of your waistband on the right side of the skirt. You're going to be starting with the edge that is open, not the one that you folded ½ inch upward. You can see the way I've placed it. So just place just like that, and then you stitch it together. So when you're done attaching the waistband to the skirt, the next thing you want to do is to join it together at the center back. So the first thing you want to do now is to use your zip to measure the length of the zip opening. You measure it down, stopping 1 inch before you get to the end of the zipper. Or you can just measure from that your midway notching. You measure 9 inches downward. Then from that point, you are going to stitch it together with ½ inch. You know we added 1 inch to this, our measurement. So you're going to sew with ½ inch because you have half on both sides, which give you 1. So you stitch it together with ½ inch. So after that, you turn it to the right side. And the next thing now is to attach your zip. So you place the right side of your zip to the right side of the skirt, starting from the midway notch. That's the essence of notching that midway of the waistband. Then you're going to stitch the zip down, flipping the mouth of the zip away towards the zip allowance. When you sew to the joining, you're going to stitch it down like ½ inch more than the joining. When that is done, the next thing is to zip it up. Then you will now turn the skirt upside down so that you can stitch the zip from the down this time around. You're going to sew it all the way till you get back to the midway notching on your waistband. Then you flip the mouth of the zip away towards the zip allowance like so. So the next thing you want to do now is to fold the waistband downward just like I'm showing you now, and then you're going to stitch on it. This way the raw edge of the zip will be concealed. You can watch how I made high-low circle skirts so that you can see this step more clearly. You can see the way it's concealed now. You do the same thing to the other side. Fold the waistband downward, and then you make your stitch. So when that is done, you turn it again like so. So at this stage, you can decide to finish the waistband with an hemming gum if you don't want a visible stitch line on the waistband. But I always like stitching it down. So the next thing now is just to top stitch your waistband on the skirt, pushing all the raw edges inside the waistband. And that's it, our skirt is ready. So you can bring it out to the right side. That's it, our skirt is ready. This skirt is so beautiful. And here is our gorgeous skirt. This skirt is so cute and beautiful. The day I wore this skirt, I got a lot of compliments. Oh, at a point, I was even tired of the compliments. Yeah, the skirt is so lovely. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Please kindly subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Bye.